So, up for review today, we've got ourselves a sponsored product. So, one of the representatives from the company asked if I could review their product. So, why not? This is the NAO or NAO brand LED headlights. So this is an H4 LED headlight. We're going to see how they do. So this is a 6,500 Kelvin color temperature, and the pair is 7,600 lumens. So it's pretty decent in the brightness range. So we've got lots of cooling fins on the back, along with a built-in fan to keep them nice and cool. Looks like an all-metal design, aluminum housing, and some kind of internal copper heatsink. And it's got the proper cutoffs for high beam and low beam. So the thing with these is these chips are a lot closer to the center line, which supposedly gives a better cutoff angle. Hopefully with that design they don't bounce around and scatter as much inside regular housings. So there's no capacitor or ballast or anything on these. It's just direct plug. So these are nice plug and play units. So I should mention that this set runs for 45 bucks on Amazon. So that's a really good price, for paying for some of the best halogen bulbs you can get. They usually cost about $40 for like the Sylvania Ultra Stars or whatever. So for $5 more, you get brighter, wider LEDs that last a lot longer. Yeah, that's pretty solid right there. All right, well, enough looking at them. Let's see how well they do. So today's test mule is going to be a 2000 Honda Civic. So it's already got some LED headlights in here, so I'll just show you what they look like. That is the Nocturnal brand. I've had these for a little over a year. They said they had a 2-year warranty, but when my dad tried to get his pair replaced, they never got back to him. So what else is new? 2-year warranty, my ass. So with these, the failure mode on them is the chips get too hot and then they flicker and just kind of burn out. They'll turn real blue, but you can barely hear the fan. It sounds like they whine a little louder when you're inside the vehicle. But anyway, we're going to take them out and see how the new NAO brand does. Okay, so you can see my old set on the bottom and the new set on the top. So not a whole lot different. I notice that these NAO brands stick out a little bit more. Not much, but still got a side exit wire, so it should be nice and easy to install. Now this one's got a rotating base, so you can adjust the angle. This one isn't adjustable from what I can tell, but it looks like it's in the right spot, so it should be fine. But as you can see how much lower the chips sit. So with these ones, they stick out real high, and I think that's part of why they scatter. And with these ones, they're actually sunk in. So hopefully we get a nice clean cutoff, because that is one of the selling points of these, is their nice cutoff range. So yeah, there's not much to the install. There's a little clip that bounces out there, and all we do is slip it back behind there. Make sure that the feet index properly. You can only put the bulb in one way. I don't know if it sticks up or sticks down. Probably sticks down. So it looks like it's going to be a bit of a chore getting the clips around all them fins. They stick out a bit. Okay. And then you can just push it to lock it into place once I get it on there properly. Bit of a fatter body too. Gotta have tiny fingers. Try to push that in there. Ooh. Alright, I'll get back to you. So now the bulb is fully seated. Bit of a pain in the ass to try to get your finger in that little hole, because these fins stick out so darn much you can't really get in there. So I just had to use a flathead just to push it the rest of the way. But now she's locked in there. So I'll turn on and see what it looks like. Alright, so let's see what we can see. Bring down the brightness. Wow, not bad. from the looks of it, yeah, there's a lot less scattering on the NAO brand. Look at that, huh? And the cutoff on these Civics are real low. Yeah, that's nice, because I will say that I feel a little bad for oncoming drivers. I've never gotten flashed before, but there is enough scattering from the other brand that just, you know, you feel kind of bad. Not bright enough to really bother people, but it's still enough to be a nuisance. Not bad though, that looks nice. Cool. Let's see what the high beams look like. That's still really good. Maybe the battery's not dead though. Seems a little dim. Alright, well, we've kind of seen what you can see in the daytime, so I guess I'm going to swap over the other bulb and we'll go for some night driving. See how they really do in their natural habitat. So in case you like getting the feeling of being blinded, this is what the old fan looks like when it was on. Certainly bright. But you can see the chip with the cutoff, I think, is the one that glows. Yeah, okay. So you can see the cutoff on that one. Here's our new NAO brand one. Nice quiet fan, by the way. So you can see the difference on that one. The sharp cutoff. So the cutoff is the low beam, and that's really important for these H4 bulbs, because without that that little divider, it's just going to look like high beams all the time. So if you're getting an H4 bulb, you really need that cutoff. Looks good though. Okay, well, to be fair, I kind of needed a flathead to get the old one out, so I won't completely, you know, put that against them. But the base is a little thicker, so just know that it's going to be slightly more difficult to try to install these and fit your boot on. But besides that, let's see how they actually work. Let's see, does it pass the radio test? Headlights off. Ooh, it's a little more static with the lights on. Does not pass the interference test. Wah, wah, wah. And just to clarify, it doesn't kill all radio stations. You know, you can still listen to music with it on. It's just weak signals are going to have interference with the lights on. I should look into that and figure out why that does that. Okay, so this is our light pattern here. And that is our high beams. Looks like that's got a pretty decent cutoff, but the passenger side looks a little funny. Not bad though. So I guess you want to see them at night too, huh? I mean, I can comfortably look at them right now. That is not a problem at all. That's beautiful. Let's see if I can get you focused in on the brightness here. Yeah, that doesn't get bright until way the heck down here. Nice. Very nice. Yeah. No real complaints. So after driving with these for a couple days now, I'd have to say if you live on like back roads and, you know, things like that, there's not a lot of street lamps, these things are perfect. They're great. You know, for the price and what you're getting, they got a nice cutoff and a decent amount of light. If you're in a very urban area, you know, lots of street lights, city life, things like that, you might notice that the beams aren't as bright as you'd like. But for the price, these are pretty decent bulbs. Not terrible. Me personally, I'd like them to be a little brighter, but, you know, still better than halogen, that's for sure. Alright, so here's a little night riding for you. So you can see around like street lights and whatnot. It's, you know, it's not the worst, but once it gets a little dark, that's beautiful. You know, that's plenty of light for, you know, the average person. It's really only when things are really bright that you don't notice them as much, but they're still fairly decent. For the price, they're not bad. Here's some bonus nachos. Let's see how they fit and work on a ridgeline. Now these ones with the housings the way that they are, they're a lot more likely to reflect light in people's faces if the bulbs aren't set up right. So on this one, you can see that our low side filament is cracked, doesn't work anymore. So that is no good. So now we can try this LED bulb instead. And look at all the room there is to work in here, huh? Must be nice. So that'll just pop in there, and then we can try to get these things to go around. It's the only issue with these fins is they're real likely to catch the clip as you're trying to push it over. Bit of a pain in the butt, but whatever. It's only another extra minute of install time. So one thing I do notice with these is that the plugs don't like to push in all the way. No matter how hard I push on that, it doesn't want to seat any further, which is kind of annoying. I don't know what's up with that. But anyway, let's see how they look when they're on. Oh yeah, look at that night and day difference there. Let's bring that brightness down. So as you can see, a much whiter light and really nice cutoff on that. There is no glare. That is excellent. So that is what we like to see. Because with the other bulbs that I had where they stick out farther on my dad's truck, there was a lot of glare, and occasionally he'd get people high beaming them just because, you know, they just look like they're on high beams all the time. That is excellent. Cool. Well, I think that will be a nice upgrade then. I like that. That's look at that. That is a nice cutoff right there. So overall, man, for 45 bucks, you can't really go wrong. They look slightly warm on occasion. They're probably closer to 6,000 Kelvin instead of 65. But yeah, for you know, a pure white to a slightly warm white, these will get you done real nice. And for those of you that are asking, can you put the rubber boot back on? That's going to be a no, because the fan base is way too wide, and the top part, like the actual mounting disc, doesn't come off. So there ain't no way in hell you're going to be able to put the boot back on. So if that is an issue for you, then maybe look for a bulb that has a removable you know, mounting disc or something, so you could actually slide it on there. Just a thought. Just to show that off, this is the nocturnal one with a removable base, and it just has a little ball bearing that keeps it in place. So that way you could put the boot back on if you wanted. So that's interesting. Okay, well maybe I'm a liar. So with these ones, it's got that little nub that sticks out, so you can't really push the darn thing on all the way anyway. So that's kind of out, because that still has to go a lot further to get to the detent down there and everything. So yeah, if you wanted to still use your rubber boots, they would require a fair bit of modification. But this is cool with the removable bit, because you can attach the base first and then just press the bulb in later. So that's cool. Got yourself some quick swap bulbs. Neat. And these are adjustable, so you can get a different pattern if you need. Okay, so in a final head-to-head, on the left we have our old nocturnal bulbs, and on the right we have our new NAO bulbs. So it's kind of hard to tell in the daylight. Let's bring this brightness all the way down. So you can see the difference in housing cutoff, even all the way down here. The right one, there's a lot less refraction in the housing, whereas the left side just kind of lights all over the place. So not bad. Even when we go all the way down there, you can see the difference. So yeah, much better in keeping a proper light pattern. So I do like the new style. If you're looking for a cheap LED bulb, these are the ones right here. They have a decent color, they have decent brightness, and they just fit. So yeah, if you're looking for a no thrills LED bulb, check out the NAO.